Did you know that Hillary Clinton practices yoga? Hillary Clinton may have spent decades in the public eye, but there's still a lot the world doesn't know about her. Here's what else you may not have known about the former Secretary of State. Even though we all know Hillary Clinton as the woman who almost became the first female president of the United States, there was a time when her ambitions were very, very different. It turns out, as a teen, Clinton had dreams of traveling to space. Sadly, however, the eager young Clinton discovered that NASA only accepted men at the time. Clinton said in a speech in 2012, "When we decided under President Kennedy's leadership that our nation was going to go to the moon and we were going to have an astronaut program, I wanted to be an astronaut. So when I was about 13, I wrote to NASA and asked what I needed to do to try to be an astronaut."
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Clinton was shocked when she got a response from NASA saying there never had been and never would be any female astronauts. While Clinton didn't become the first woman in space, since then, she certainly has proven to NASA that girls can do just about anything they want to do. Hillary Clinton may be good at getting up on stage and speaking, but when it comes to singing, it's a different story. Clinton told Us Weekly, "I can't carry a tune for the life of me. My choir teacher used to ask me to mouth the words." In fact, when Clinton used to sing to her own daughter, Chelsea, the then little girl also asked her to stop, saying, "No sing, mommy, no sing." Even though Clinton is a self-professed terrible singer, she still somehow gathered the courage to sing "Lean on Me" during a cameo on Saturday Night Live alongside Kate McKinnon, who famously played Clinton on the show. Hillary told the Today Show,
"All my friends from literally grade school and high school were, just emailing me like crazy. I can't believe you sang."
It might be hard to believe, but before Hillary Clinton was the Democratic presidential nominee, she was a staunch teenage Republican. Growing up in the Chicago suburb of Park Ridge, Clinton was raised to be a Republican, and according to people who knew her during those days, she took it quite seriously. As one Park Ridge resident told Chicago Magazine, "In Park Ridge in the 1960s, it wasn't really accepted to be a Democrat. Everybody was a Republican." An old friend of Clinton's added that as a teen, she and Clinton had read Republican Barry Goldwater's book, The Conscience of a Conservative, and found it very striking.
"Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice."
The pair went on to walk around school in Goldwater girls' sashes, proclaiming their support for the Republican politician. Despite her early political convictions, Clinton eventually moved to the left and even became a hippie by the time she entered college. Clearly, her Republican days were already a thing of the past. Hillary and Bill Clinton's daughter Chelsea Victoria was born in 1980. It turns out the inspiration for her name originally came from the Joni Mitchell song Chelsea Morning, a song which, in turn, was inspired by New York City's Chelsea Hotel. But the Clintons weren't actually inspired by Mitchell's version of the song. Instead, they were inspired by Judy Collins' cover of it. In his biography, My Life, Bill recalled that he and Hillary had been in the area of Chelsea and London on a quick visit when inspiration struck. They happened to hear Collins' version of the song playing on a speaker outside. Writing in his biography, Bill remembered, "We agreed on the spot that if we ever had a daughter, we'd call her Chelsea." You may have assumed that the future president and first lady of the United States would have a pretty elaborate wedding. But for Bill and Hillary Clinton, things weren't quite so grand. The pair started dating while both studying at Yale. Eventually, Hillary moved to Arkansas to see what her relationship to Bill meant to her, as she said in the documentary Hillary. Shortly after, they got engaged. In 1975, the couple tied the knot in a very understated ceremony that took place in their living room. Hillary's dress cost only $53, and there were just 15 guests. The couple did later have a more extravagant backyard party with many more guests. Many people have speculated on the reason why the Clintons only had one child. Their daughter Chelsea was born in 1980, but even up until the 90s, Hillary Clinton expressed a wish to have more kids. At the age of 48, Clinton told Time magazine, "I must say, we're hoping that we have another child. I would be surprised, but not disappointed. My friends would be appalled, I'm sure, but I think it would be terrific." Clinton went on to explain that she had trouble conceiving her first child and that she and her husband had even considered adoption. While Clinton has never openly discussed her particular fertility issue, it is widely reported that she has a condition known as endometriosis, which, according to the Mayo Clinic, tends to have symptoms that include abdominal pains, heavy periods, nausea, and fatigue. As her biographer, Carl Bernstein, explains in A Woman in Charge, after a long struggle, the couple eventually arranged to see a fertility specialist in 1979. Luckily, Hillary learned she was pregnant just before the appointment. Just like the rest of us, Hillary Clinton has a few idiosyncrasies, especially when it comes to food. It turns out the almost president has a big soft spot for hot sauce. In fact, she's spoken about her obsession in multiple interviews, telling Us Weekly, "I love to snack on hot chili peppers, and I put hot sauce on everything." Furthermore, when asked on a radio show what she always carried in her purse, Clinton immediately replied,
Hot sauce. Because I think it keeps my immune system strong. I really do. I think hot sauce is good for you, in moderation.
To find out more, Time reached out to Clinton. Apparently, the former presidential candidate's preferred brand is Ninja Squirrel, the Whole Foods brand, with a sriracha flavor. In 1999, Hillary Clinton was photographed kissing Suha Arafat, the wife of Palestinian President Yasser Arafat, shortly after she made a controversial statement about Israel. After photos were soon plastered all over the front pages, it was suggested that Clinton supported the anti-Israel remarks. However, as Clinton later explained, the kiss was intended to be a simple formality. During a 2000 campaign trip to the Bell Park Jewish Center in Queens, Clinton said, "Some of you may or may have not been to the Middle East, but a kiss is a handshake. I was in a very difficult position, and I am the first to admit that. I did what I was expected to do." Later, Clinton also made a statement about Arafat's speech, saying she condemned the anti-Israel sentiment and thought her remarks had been outrageous. Even though Hillary Clinton isn't exactly a talented singer, she is a Grammy Award winner. That's right, in 1997, Clinton took home a Grammy for Best Spoken Word or Non-Musical Album for her recording of the book It Takes a Village. And 7 years later, Clinton received another nomination for her recording of her book Living History. In her acceptance speech in 1997, Clinton expressed her delight at winning the award, saying, "I'm amazed. I didn't even know that Grammys were given to tone-deaf singers like me." She went on to thank her publishers and her family before speaking about the importance of the arts. Clinton said, "The arts are not a luxury, but a necessity for the American culture, identity, and experience." Hillary Clinton, it seems, is an avid reader. According to Bustle, she's a fan of writers that include Alice Munro, Pablo Neruda, and Maya Angelou, to name just a few. But when asked by an interviewer for the New York Times in 2014 about her favorite book ever, Clinton said it was The Brothers Karamazov by Russian author Fyodor Dostoevsky, explaining that she had always remembered it after reading the classic novel years earlier. The book centers on two brothers and their relationships with their father. According to Clinton, the book contains a powerful message about the dangers of certitude. As she explained to The New Yorker, one of the greatest threats we face is from people who believe they are absolutely, certainly right about everything. According to Clinton, the brothers Karamazov helped her see that we should always keep our minds open and never be entirely certain about anything. While it may be difficult to picture Hillary Clinton in a downward dog, in her spare time, that might be exactly where you would find her. In a 2016 interview with Us Weekly, Clinton revealed, "I do yoga, not enough." Additionally, after losing the 2016 election, Clinton's yoga routine seemed to get even more serious. In her book, What Happened, Clinton mentioned that doing alternate nostril breathing, a common yoga breathing technique, had helped her stay centered after the crushing loss. Later, during an appearance on Anderson Cooper 360, she went into more detail about the breathing technique. Clinton told the CNN host,
I would highly recommend it.
Clinton went on to add, "I can only say from my personal experience that if you're sitting cross-legged on the yoga mat and you're doing it and you're really trying to inhale and hold it, and then have a long exhale, it is very relaxing." As for her favorite pose, well, as she told People, "Warrior 2 is my favorite. It doubles as a great power pose." Sounds like Clinton has found the perfect way to stay calm and focused after a pretty horrible defeat. Hillary Clinton doesn't only share similar looks with her daughter Chelsea Clinton. It seems they also share similar interests and opinions. One of their main shared interests? Empowering women. In fact, the mother-daughter feminist duo even wrote a book together called The Book of Gutsy Women, about a series of incredible, brave women throughout history. Hillary explained to stylists that she'd been hoping to write the book ever since Chelsea was young. "The idea has been around ever since Chelsea was a little girl. We've always talked about inspirational role models, heroines, people who inspired us." For the most part, the mother-daughter co-writers got along well while working together, although they did have some disagreements about which women to include in the book. Hillary told stylist, "We had some vigorous conversations. The publisher kept coming back and saying, 'We have to cut some more. Oh my gosh, it was horrible.'" As the pair joked to the Times, the only thing that made working together difficult was Hillary's tendency to write her parts in longhand, which Chelsea confessed she found pretty irritating. It turns out Hillary Clinton is quite the music buff. In 2006, Clinton spoke to the New York Post about some of her favorite songs she had on her iPod Shuffle. Hillary told the newspaper, "I've got everything, a total smorgasbord." Her playlist included Respect by Aretha Franklin, Beautiful Day by U2, and Hey Jude by the Beatles. She also mentioned liking the Rolling Stones as well as the genres of Motown and classical music. In 2009, Clinton spoke about her musical tastes again in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, this time again citing the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. At the same time, the former First Lady has also referenced pop singers like Beyoncé, Demi Lovato, and Adele as some of her favorites. In 2016, Clinton once again name-dropped the Beatles, telling Us Weekly, "I am and always will be a Beatles fan." It sounds like while Clinton does have eclectic musical tastes, at heart, she's just a die-hard Beatles fangirl. As she told the Post, "I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.